In this video, I'd like to share two of my random startup idea so you can get a clear picture of how you can come up with the idea for your own startup. So number one is on-demand professional service. Nowadays, we have various types of on-demand services from ride-hailing to food delivery, but there is no on-demand platform for professional service apart from the freelancer platform like Upwork and Fiverr. So I think there is an opportunity to create a platform that connects customers who require professional service with professionals who are available to do side gig to earn extra income. For example, musician, tutor, or celebrities, etc. And the way it works is as simple as ride hailing. When someone needs a tutor, for example, for the homework or for assignment, he or she can simply book the tutor and meet somewhere to sort out the task. Or if the bar owner needs a pub singer, then he can simply book one to entertain at the pub. So I would imagine in the future there will be service platform like this will appear, and as far as I'm concerned, there is no such platform at the moment, but I believe there will be a very successful one in the future. Anyway, we're not going to get into this idea in depth for now, so let's jump into another one. And it's a platform business model that enables car owner to rent out the car to the customers and make extra income. This is different than Uber and all other ride-hailing business model, and I tried to implement this idea back in 2014, but I couldn't do so because I couldn't find the right partner, so I did not proceed to build a startup with this idea. Anyway, let's call this startup GoNice. And the idea is to enable car owners to be able to rent out the car while she or he is not using it. People who do not have cars can drive to earn extra income. So in pretty much every city, there are more cars than actual number of people living. And even in Bangkok, where I live, the population is only 10 million, but there are 30 million cars. Because on average, one person owns more than two cars. But it's not like everybody owns a car. Like some people own more cars than others, and some doesn't own any. So there are taxi drivers who rent a car from the taxi operators and drives all days to make ends meet, and there are people who own a few cars but don't know what to do with them while paying for loan installment and parking fee every single month. So what if the startup can connect these two parties? On the one hand, taxi drivers who need cars, on the other, the car owners, to engage in sharing business model, whereby the taxi driver drives the car rented by the car owner and generate income and share revenue with the car owner. And the taxi driver doesn't need to pay daily fixed rental to taxi operators anymore. So instead, he can share the revenue with the car owners of what he earns. So it's a win-win situation for both parties. One, taxi driver doesn't need to worry about making daily rental payment before he gets to make anything. And the other is the car owners can use the income generated from the car to pay off his loan installment, and he may not even need to pay for the parking fee at the same time. So the business model is to connect passengers with driver in the city with car sharing service. And another idea, which we'll see in the next slide, is to match people who want to rent a car for vacation with people who own the car in the city. So let's take a look at the first one. This is pretty much like Uber business model whereby the platform connects passengers with nearby drivers and take passengers from point A to point B. But the difference is the driver is not necessarily car owner, and this can make a huge difference in the ecosystem because original Uber business model doesn't care much about the taxi driver's well-being, and they try to monopolize the market by making taxi obsolete. That's why a lot of cities decided to ban Uber to protect traditional taxi industry, as a lot of lives are at stake. But if the idea that we're talking about is materialized, it's a win-win for all parties. It will really be creating a sharing economy because it gives the opportunity for existing taxi driver to get involved in the ecosystem with freedom to work based on their availability, and it will also give good customer experience to passengers who sometimes get refused by taxi driver. And of course, to make the business model thrives in the market, the commission that we take from the business transaction is only 15%, not 25% as Uber or Grab are charging right now. And there will be value propositions for both ends. The driver can earn up to 80% of the revenue, which can be shared with the car owner, and the passenger can book the ride in advance or on demand or even for a long distance trip. So this is the first part of the business. And the second part is to match the car owners with individuals who need a car for vacation, or even a group of people can book the bus for their holiday vacations. And the way it works is similar to Airbnb model, whereby the car owner gives the key to the customer and customer returns it back to the owner once finished. Simple as that. And for a group of people, there will be options to rent a car that suits the group. And the main business model for GoNice startup is, of course, to get a slice of the total business volume generated by the platform service. So let's have a look at the market size. Remember, this is based on the country I live, Thailand, and the data is based on the market. So in Bangkok, there is a population of 10 million local people and 20 million tourists visiting every year. And as you can see, the market size for transportation industry is 205 billion baht, which is approximately $7 billion. And this data is based on 2014. So it's growing exponentially. So in 2020, it could be somewhere around 10 to 20 billion dollars for the market size. And the number is growing on annual basis. And the target customers for GoNice are both locals and tourists alike who need to commute on a daily basis, so the market is huge. But of course, that's not to say there is no risk. Back in 2014, there was no Uber or Grab in the country, but now Grab being the dominant player in the market for transportation industry with large market share, so it'd be challenging to compete with a big player. Anyway, the point is to highlight the fact that there is an opportunity with sizable markets to get into transportation industry. And the projection that I made for this startup is as follows. First year is to take the startup off the ground, and I project to get market share by 15% in the fourth year. And the expected revenue for the first year is 2.8 billion baht, which is somewhere around $93 million. And it's expected to grow exponentially and eventually becomes profitable and exit through initial public offering. And that was the idea and plan for this startup idea. And the whole point of discussing this startup idea is to get you a picture of how to come up with the startup idea, business plans, and how you can execute it accordingly. So in the next video, we shall discuss about how to validate your idea to ensure that the idea is solid and can produce product market fit to scale the business. So I will see you in the next video.